Indeed, this is not an easy afternoon for Cyprus's president, and he's only been there for less than a month. This afternoon in snowy Brussels, he's going to be meeting all of the big guns, the head of the IMF, the head of the European Central Bank, and the presidents of both the European Council and the European Commission. Now, all of this is ahead of what is called a Eurogroup meeting, and that is comprised of the finance ministers of all of the countries that use the euro to try to hammer out a deal, because time is effectively running out. The European Central Bank has said that if a deal isn't struck by the end of this evening, it will cut off cash payments to Cyprus's banking sector, which could lead to a messy default and eventually Cyprus's departure from the euro. Now, in the past, when we've seen other bailouts, that is obviously something that the EU and the troika of international lenders have wanted to avoid, because they've said the economies were so big in countries such as Greece that contagion could spread if they were to leave the euro. But it appears that certainly Germany and others believe that perhaps Cyprus is small enough for this problem to be contained, that it doesn't necessarily mean that the cancer would spread throughout the 17 eurozone countries. But there is no doubt about it that the deal on the table at the moment to tax heavily large deposits in the biggest bank, the Bank of Cyprus, and we're talking about 20% levy on deposits over 100,000, will be painful for those large investors who've taken advantage of the Cypriot banking system. And the EU Commissioner for Monetary Affairs, Olli Rehn, said none of the choices on the table are good for Cyprus or the rest of Europe.
Unfortunately, the events of recent days have led to a situation where there are no longer any optimal solutions available. Today, there are only hard choices left. Support from Europe can help to minimize the economic damage and protect the most vulnerable from the effects of the financial crisis.
Hard choices left means difficult negotiations, so we expect these discussions to go well into the night. On the internet site that is used by the Eurogroup, normally they tell us when there is likely to be a press conference when things wrap up. They haven't even put a time on it. It's going to be a long and difficult day.